What's going on, world? I'm Wesley from Aconnectiontv, the network, and you are watching me. The one channel on YouTube where we actually adopt similar connections despite our differences. And the reason why I'm so excited is because my show, our show, The Walking Dead, Season 4, Episode 9, entitled After the fucking governor. I'm just so happy the governor is dead. Like, I'm just so, like, come on now. And don't think for a second that y'all didn't think, because I thought, but didn't really. Like, I was thinking to myself, like, when I'm sorry, if y'all don't watch The Walking Dead, I don't know what is wrong with you. You need to watch The fucking Walking Dead. It is off the chain. But we start this episode off with my girl Michonne. And I'm like, shit, what's about to go down? Because we already know Michonne is like the G.I. Joe of the group. She's like the G.I. Joe with the dreads of the group, and it's so hot with her katana and everything. Michonne is sexy. I would just like love to be on Michonne's side. Like, to not be on her side would be the wrong thing. That would equate to death, right? So we start this episode off with Michonne, and she's at the prison. She goes back to the prison, and I'm getting like this sense of, like, her going back to the prison for me really made me feel like she was, one, going to see if anybody else was at the prison. Two, trying to get in her mind, trying to get her mind wrapped around at the fact that the prison was like completely done. It's a wrap, right? And, you know, because I was watching AMC The Talking Dead, and the guy was saying that, you know, Michonne went back to the prison to find Herschel. I don't think that was the case. Because when I look at it, she walks past where she actually finds Herschel. Okay? I think she went trying to see if people were still there, survivors or whatever. But when she didn't see that and she saw the construction, the destruction, and the zombies coming to get her, she hops over to the spikes, she does her little chop pet zombie thing, and as she's walking away, that's when she finds Herschel, my homeboy. His head is chopped off, but still alive, on the ground. She stabs him with the katana and she starts to feel some way. I think at that particular moment is when she realizes that she's back to the lone soldier that she was when we discovered her, when she was walking around with Mike and Terry. So I'm like, all right, she's back in solo do-for-dolo mode, right? She went through this whole situation, this whole season, befriending Andrea, befriending Carl, befriending Rick, befriending Daryl, befriending the people, coming back to this family environment, to now have it obliterated by the freaking governor. And she's back for solo for-dolo mode. We fast forward. Let's get to Carl and his ass. Carl need to get his ass whooped. Carl was getting on my nerves this episode, and I feel for him, and I felt for him. I do, and I did. But when he was gunning for Rick, like, okay, before I get all into it, right? So Carl is walking ahead of Rick. Rick is done. Rick got his ass handed to him by the governor. He's emotionally drained. He's physically drained. He just lost his daughter. Like, he lost his home. Don't know where none of the people are. He's beat down. Tired. Carl is walking his little happy ass ahead. Carl is disgusted by his father, Rick. Rick is like, Carl, slow down. Rick, Carl look at him like, he like, what? What do you want? He's like, slow down. I'm just like, Carl, like, shut up. I'm walking ahead of you. I'm walking ahead of you. You can't do anything for me. We get to this like shack or whatever with some Harley Davidsons in the front. Carl and Rick, you know, before you walk into any kind of house or anything that has a closed door on it, you got to be prepared because zombies could be inside, right? So Rick goes to the door. He limping and shit. He all like this, limping and shit, with the trying to you know, size up the shack or whatever. Carl is sitting there with the gun like, dude, like, really, what you about to do? Carl like, I got this. No, Rick like, no, I got this. Carl look at him like, what? You can barely stand up. What do you mean? Like, I got this. We gonna survey this. I got this. I can go in there by myself. Rick like, we're gonna do this together. So they get in there. There's this one lone zombie or whatever. Rick is like, don't use the gun. Let me lure him out and let me kill him. So Rick removes the barricade that was holding the zombie in because they found this note saying, hopefully you can kill him because we couldn't kill him. We just had to barricade his ass. So Rick, you know, breaks down the barricade. I'm thinking to myself, his old weak old ass, what the hell is he gonna do, right? I love Rick. Rick is a G. But Rick got his ass handed to him by the governor. And now he's all bloodied and bruised. I'm like, what is he about to do? The zombie looked all big and swollen and shit. So Rick got this little fork of an axe. The zombie comes charging at him. He hits the zombie with the axe and he's struggling. He's struggling and shit. Struggling and shit. Carl's like, what the Pat! And pops the zombie. Rick gets mad. He's like, I told you not to do that. Carl was like, you wasn't gonna win. He was about to kill your ass. Anyways, I'm like, ooh, Carl need to get, but Rick need to take off his belt and spank Carl. That's what he needs to do. Like, I love Carl. Carl is a G. But he need to be that way to everybody else. Don't be that way to Rick. Rick has gone through a lot of shit in the 4 years this show has been on. 4 seasons. He has gone through a lot of shit. So I'm really on Rick's side. Like, I'm not really feeling Carl, but I get it, but I still don't get it. Fast to the floor. We get to, and this whole episode is about Carl and Michonne. So I'm trying not to make this too long, but step by step really doesn't make sense. I'm just gonna point on certain things. We finally, thank you. We finally get to look into Michonne's past via a dream. Okay? Now, Michonne got these pet zombies. She's tracking shit, whatever the case may be. She's trying to find her way. Whatever way that is, she's lost in translation. She's trying to find some way. She finds a car where she can sleep. She sleeps in the car. She has this dream. We are finally introduced to Michonne's world pre-Zombieville. Okay? We meet Mike and Terry. Okay? I'm ecstatic because I'm like, this is cool. Though, to be honest, I really am lost with how their situation worked. Because Michonne seemed very, but then again, it was a dream. So maybe that's, no. But then they talked about it on AMC Talking Dead, like, why did the brother really talk about the katana like that? But I'm like, it had to be the dream, because I'm like, ain't no way in hell Michonne gonna put this big ass katana into a kitchen knife holder. There's no way. So I'm like, okay, maybe that was the dream. We're seeing today's Michonne and in the past, but like in her past life, but still with the katana. I'm like, I'm confused. Then we find out that the reason why she was so iffy and crazy around kids and babies and stuff like that was because she at one point had a son. We don't find out what happened to the son. We just know that the son disappears. But we find out that Mike and Terry were brother and lover. Lover, so says the brother. I didn't really understand that either. Like, I was confused with that whole situation. Like, it didn't make sense to me. But it was nice to see her life. And the way, that was the first time I've seen a dream and or a flashback occur the way that it did in The Walking Dead. I thought that was genius. The way that the two, Mike and Terry, were progressing, but Michonne stayed the same. It was genius, because you were able to see where she wanted to remain mentally, but the world around her was decaying, was falling apart. You know, the world that she knew was falling apart around her, but she was trying to stay mentally wrapped into the concept of love and family. I thought that was awesome. So we finally get to see a look into her past, right? Fast forward to Carl, punk ass, and Rick. They leave the shack. They find his house. They get into the house. No dramatics. They find some food. No problem. Night comes. You know, instead of playing video games or seeing like he saw Xbox 360 and a big ass plasma screen, you know, Carl got excited to see normal life. Carl takes the cord from the TV and wraps it around the front door and ties it into a knot. I'm thinking to myself, really? Rick was thinking to himself, really, as well, and he tries to push a couch up to the door. I'm like, Rick, you can barely push a rock. How you trying to push this couch? Like, that's what I'm thinking. And all the while, Carl is giving Rick these nasty ass looks like, my dude, really? Like, what are you trying to do? So Carl and Rick have this little argument about Rick wanting to push the couch up to the door, and you know, Carl is like, I tied it in a such and such knot. Shane taught me. You remember Shane? I was like, ooh, no you didn't. Fuck him up. Fuck him up. Pull your belt off, Rick, and fuck him up. Rick is like, what? Yes, I remember Shane. I remember him every day of my life. Some bullshit. I'm like, Rick is being understanding. Rick is being an understanding father right now, because Carl would have got his little ass whooped. Handicapped or not. Okay, they split up or whatever. You know, Rick goes to sleep on the couch, whatever the case may be. Carl wakes up some ways ahead of Rick, and he looks at his father. Rick is knocked out. Rick is knocked out. Doesn't even look like he's breathing. You know, Carl looks at him. He's like, whatever. And then he goes to make some cereal. He has no milk. He starts to read a book. Like, he's going throughout the whole day by himself. He's like, you know what? Let me go look around, see what's going on. He goes to his father. He says, wake up, Dad, Dad, Dad. There's no response. He's like, Dad, wake up. Dad, wake up. He starts screaming, Dad, Dad, Dad. And then because he was screaming at Rick, the one he was giving an attitude to, a zombie hears him, two zombies hears him, and he starts to pound on the door. So then Carl goes around to see if it's a swarm or an army of zombies, but it's only two lone zombies. So Carl tries to be tough, and Carl decides to try to lure the zombies away. As he's luring the zombies away, of course he's like backing up. As he backs up away from the house, getting the zombies away from their little hideout, a third zombie comes onto the side, catches Carl off guard. Carl is like frantic, fighting. He falls on the ground. He has to pop the zombies. I thought, I didn't think that the boy was a goner because it's episode 1, but then again, knowing the history of The Walking Dead, you just never know when somebody's going to get bit, when somebody's going to get taken off, right? Taken out. So Carl, he survives the onslaught of zombies that tries to kill him. He throws up because he's a pussy, and he says, yeah, I'm a G at the end. He didn't say yeah, I'm a G, but basically he was like, yeah, I'm the one still standing. I'm the boss, right? So he goes and finds another house. He goes into that house, goes through the same routine. On the top of a counter, he sees this big ass. At first, I thought it was beans. Come to find out it was pudding. I'm thinking to myself, really? You eating that big old thing of pudding? That shit is disgusting. Like, why are you doing that? Pudding? I can understand that. But at the end of the day, he faces another challenge in this house. He opens the door. This zombie tries to bust through the door. He slams the door. He fights the zombie. Now, this is a big, thick zombie. He fights the zombie. He gets beat up. He tries to run out of a window. He can't run out of the window. He grabs a lamp and knocks the dude or whatever. I'm thinking to myself, why don't you just continue to pummel this motherfucker when you're hitting him with the net? Knock him out. Bow, 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 right? Then I'm thinking to what happened to the solar light that he had, the little solar light with the sharp thing that he had. Did he drop that? I don't know. Anyways, Carl and his little ass have these little Olympic events that he's going through in the town, and he feels like he is a G and he doesn't need his father. When he gets back to the house after dealing with all this bullshit and he cusses his father out, talking about it's your fault, everything is your fault, we trusted you, you were supposed to be a G, this and that and the third. Blase blah, it's all your fault, everyone's dead. I wish you were dead, I don't care if you're alive, some bullshit. I'm like, Carl, use a punk, bitch, because you're not telling the truth right there. Use a punk, bitch. Fast to the forward, we get past all of that, right? Carl is in the house with his father. Rick finally wakes up. He starts to get a little shaky. But the way that Rick was moving, because he's so fucked up in the game, physically hurt and mentally drained, he's moving like a zombie. So I'm like, oh shit, here we go. Here we go. People was tweeting me talking about Rick is dead. I'm like, Rick ain't nobody's dead. They ain't gonna go that far. So I'm like, what? They ain't gonna go that far. So I'm like, alright. On for real though, you ain't got no bullets left, so I know you ain't about to shoot my dude. Like, I'm Team Rick. I'm Team Rick all day, every day. Alright? I'm just Team Rick. So I know this punk ass Carl ain't about to shoot my dude, right? So Carl, he's pointing the gun and he's shaking it. And he's like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm like, you punk bitch. When Carl said that it was Rick's fault that the mom died, I was like, ooh, you fucked up for that. You fucked up little punk bitch for that. So he couldn't shoot Rick. I'm like, you ain't had no bullets in the damn gun anyway. Then Rick all of a sudden gasped for air. He like, Carl, don't run out. Don't run out. You gotta be safe if you go outside. You know, Rick was having this little impulsive, I don't know, reflex, I don't know. We get to Michonne. Michonne now has an army of zombies walking around her because she got these 2 patrolling pet zombies. Michonne is going through it. She sees a zombie that looks like her, and she loses it. She kills all the zombies, the whole army of zombies. She's exhausted. She don't know what to do. She goes backward because I don't know where the fuck she thought she was going. She was walking with a whole, I don't know where thought she was going. But she goes backward where she recalls seeing footprints. Small footprints and large footprints. They were fresh. She starts to have a little faith. She follows the footprints to an open can of the pudding that was freshly just ate. She starts to feel some sort of way. Mind you, she had her whole monologue about Terry and Mike, but that was neither here nor there. That was, she got her second win, but that was neither here nor there. She ends up back at the house where Rick and Carl are posted up, and when she sees them, she jumps for joy and she cries. She knocks on the door. I thought this was awesome. She knocks on the door, and Rick, of course, and Carl, they're alert. They go to look at the door. Rick looks through the peephole. He sees Michonne. He falls against the door because he's so weak, and he just starts laughing. And Carl's like, what? What is it? Who is it? And then Rick is like, it's for you. I thought that was awesome how the show ended. I really did. I wanted to see them hug and kiss and rejoice and be happy because I wanted to see that. The whole episode was so dramatic and boring because I wanted to punch Carl in his motherfucking throat. I wanted to punch Carl in his throat, and I felt so bad for Michonne. I understand Carl's angry and I get it, but I just was like, come on, son, y'all went through all this shit right now. Rick apologizes to Carl, then Carl realizes after almost shooting his father and realizing that he can't live without his father, that that Rick does not have to apologize. This episode was great. It was boring, but it was great. I love the fact that we got to look into Michonne's past. I really do. It closed the chapter on that because we do need to find out what happened to the child, but I like the fact that Michonne caught up with Carl and Rick. That was awesome. Next episode, we're going to see the kids. We're going to see Maggie. We're going to see Glenn. What do y'all think about this episode of The Walking Dead, baby? Mid-season finale, we in here. Leave your comments below the video. Share and tweet this. Share this video on Facebook and tweet this on Twitter. Yeah, and click that thumbs up button. It's free to do. It lets me know that y'all like what I do, so I appreciate it. Deuces.